Here we are, guys, on our new page. We're going to go to page 74B. 74B. It says the right way, escríbelo, but this right is no correcto. This right means to write with your pencil, to write. Escribir. La manera de escribir. Okay, so I want you to go to page 74B. It's right after the 74s where we left off yesterday. I told you we are going to do this page next. So if you're not there, pause the video and then find it. Okay? The right way. And I'm going to try to make it a little bit bigger so we can read it and do it. Okay, now we're able to read. We're nice and close. The right way. Reflect. Choose one idea, write about it in the space below. So they give us three choices. Draw and write about all the different ways you can show the number 482. Use a separate piece of paper for your drawing. Yeah, okay, maybe. Explain how to compare two numbers. Write sentences that include at least two of these terms. Digit is equal to 100,000. Elige una idea, escriba acerca de la idea en el espacio de abajo. Creo que vamos a escoger ese segundo. Explica cómo se comparan dos números. Okay, explain how to compare two numbers. We're only going to do it in English. Por eso los que han un libro en español, Elías y Noé, tienen que escribir en inglés porque no quiero hacer los dos. Es mucho. Okay. And we're going to explain how to compare two numbers. Vamos a explicar cómo comparar dos números, cómo mirar a dos números y decidir cuál número es más grande y cuál es más pequeño. Okay? How to look at two numbers and decide which one's bigger and which one's smaller. Okay, and we're going to work with three-digit numbers. So let me give you an example. How about the number 347? Tiene tres dígitos, 347, and the number 831. Now, ¿cuál es el número más grande? How do we know? Okay, are you ready? So we're going to write together. Are you ready? Try to stay up with me. If you fall behind too far, then pause the video to catch up to me. Okay, let's see. If you have two numbers, si tiene dos números, this is a long sentence, this first one. If you have two numbers, stay with me, or you're just going to have to pause and start again. If you have two numbers that a little more room, but I'm going to keep going. That both have, here's have again. If you have two numbers that both have, try to stay on your line and leave little space between your words, but keep your letters together inside of words. When you write a word, the letters are together, almost touching, but then you leave a space in between. If you have two numbers that both have three digits, that have three parts to them. So this is a number with three digits. This is a number with three digits, comma. If you have two numbers that both have three digits, how do you How do you? How do you? Can you see that? Both have 3 digits. How do you? ¿Cómo sabes? Si tienen dos números con cada uno con 3 dígitos, ¿cómo sabes? How do you know? No actually has a K in it. It's a silent K, K-N-O-W. When you see K-N, you don't do the K, you start with the N. How do you know? ¿Cómo sabes? Which quiere decir cuál? ¿Cuál número? How do you know which? Which quiere decir cuál? But the other word which is bruja, but they're not spelled the same. They're spelled differently. We call them homophones because they sound the same, but they're spelled differently, mean different things. How do you know which number is? How do you know which number is? Now we could say bigger. We like to say this number is bigger than that one. But there's a math word they use more often than bigger. And that word would be which number is greater. So put greater. And that's our first sentence in our explanation. We call this an explanation because it told us to explain, explica. How do you know which number is greater? That is a question mark. Boy, this could be too long, this whole story. It takes a long time to explain this. If you have two numbers that both have 3 digits, how do you know which number is greater? I have room, I'm going to put the because I'm going to run out of room. Can you see the? I start with the capital because it's a new sentence. You got to get that because I can't go to the other part because you won't see it. Which of these is more important? The 3, the 4, the 7? Or the 8, the 3, or the 1? Which is more important? The 8 and the 3 here because they tell the hundreds. The hundreds digit. The hundreds digit here is 3. The hundreds digit here is 8. The hundreds digit is the most. This is a lot of writing. The 100 digit is the most important. Oh, you can't see important. There's important. The hundreds digit is the most important. El dígito en las centenas es el dígito más importante. I don't know if we're going to keep writing all this, because it takes too long to write all this stuff. Why do they have us do this? This is supposed to be math, not writing. Oh, it burns me up the amount of time they waste with this writing stuff. Oh, the world's gone crazy. The hundreds digit is the most important. The number with more I'm just going to show you next. I'm not going to go on. We're not going to write the whole thing because it's going to take too long. The number with more hundreds is greatest. The number with more hundreds is greatest. So you look at the hundreds digit because it's the most important. And the one that has a bigger number there is the greatest. So, can you get all that copied? So I look here at my numbers. 347, 831. Which is bigger? Well, I look at the hundreds. 3 or 8. What's more, 3 or 8? 8. So this is the biggest, right? Now, I really should write more about what happens if the numbers have the same. What if they have the same hundreds? What if they both have a 4? How do you know which one's bigger? Well, if they have the same amount of hundreds, then you look at the tens digit. You go to the tens next. See, these are the same, so I look at the tens. 6 or 0, what's bigger? 6. So now this one's bigger, right? But what happens if the, let me show you this. What happens if the, I'll write it down. Yeah, I can't see it down there. I guess I'll squeeze it over. What happens if the hundreds are the same, the tens are the same, lo mismo centenas, lo mismo decenas, entonces miramos las unidades, 4 o 6. ¿Cuál es más grande, 4 o 6? Esa. Por eso 586 es más grande que 584. Because here the hundreds were the same, the tens were the same. Then we have to look at the ones. We're not going to write all that down here. Way too much. So we're just going to put yada, yada, yada. Dot, dot, dot. Means it goes on and on and on. We're not going to write all that. That's too much and it defeats all purpose. And we've used up 12 minutes on this one page. 12 minutes means we can't do hardly anything. So we're going to do the next page much faster. So forget this. If you got it done, great. If not, well, let's blow it off. Here we go. Next page. Let's see what it says here. Circle groups of 10. Count the groups of 10. Ooh, can I fit them? Circle groups of 10. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is a group of 10. I'm going to circle it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What do you think? It's the same because they lined up, right? That's going to be a 10. That's going to be a 10. Otra decena. Otra decena. Un grupo de 10 es una decena. A group of 10 is called a 10. We're doing groups of 10s. How many 10s did we do? How many 10s were there? I did the whole page. How many 10s? Did you do them all? How many 10s? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 10s. How much is 10 10s? Can you count them by 10s? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. 10 10s make 100. When you have 10 10s, you make 100. Marco has 100 cards. How many groups of 10 cards can he make? Si tiene 100 cartas, puede ser 10 grupos de 10. Puede ser 10 decenas, porque hay 10 decenas en un centena. There are 10 10s in 100. There are 10 1s in a 10 and then 10 tens make 100. I will show you when I get back to class, tomorrow maybe, how you can look at blocks and you can make tens, and then you can take 10 tens and make 100. So let's turn to page 76. And it says at the top, where does it say it? 10 tens is the same as 100. Here's 10 tens, and that makes 100. When you stick them all together, it looks like a board with 100 little cubes all together. That's 100. These are tens, and that is 100. 10 tens make 100. 100 little cubes, 100 ones. En español es el mismo, por supuesto. 10 decenas, dice, 10 decenas es lo mismo que una centena. 10 decenas, una centena. 10 decenas, una centena, 100. 100 unidades. Escriba cuántas decenas hay. Encierra un ciclo grupos de 10 decenas. Escriba cuántas centenas hay. Escriba el número también. Okay, here we go. Are you ready? So it says, how many tens? Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There are 20 tens. Ugh, you can't even see that. I counted them all. I'm not going to count them again. There's 20. This is 10 and that's 10. 10, 20 tens, right? Now, each of these makes 100. This is 100 and that's 100. So we have 200s. And how many cubes all together? 200s is 200. That's 200 cubes. This is even more. We've got 10, 10, 20, 30 tens. Each of these is a 10. So hay 30 decenas. 30 decenas. Y cada uno es una centena. 1, 2, 3 centenas. How many altogether? Well, if you got 30 tens, 300s, you have 300. That's 300. 300 bloques. Mira cuántos bloques. ¿Quién quiere contar? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Do you want to count all those? Count them all? No, too much time. So we're going to do this. We're going to count tens. 10, 20, 30, 40 tens. How many hundreds? Well, that's 100 now. We can make 100. 1, 2, 3, 4 hundreds. That makes 400. Right? Go ahead, you try the bottom one here by yourself. Try that one. First tell me the tens, las decenas. Después the hundreds. Y después cuántos en total. En español, las decenas, centenas, y cuántos en total. See if you can do it by yourself. And we're going to stop at this page today. We're not going to do the next one. You ready to count? Here we go. So I'm going to circle 10 tens. Remember, each of these is a 10. I don't want to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It would take too long. So I'm going to count my tens. There are 10 tens here. Here's 10 more. 10 more. 10 more. And 10 more. I can count by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. There are 50 tens. How many hundreds? Well, that's 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hundreds. Which makes 500. We're done just on time because here comes Adelina's back. Can you say hello, Adelina? Let's see your face. I can't see you, girl. Where are you? It don't work. Hold on. Let me turn it more. There she is. Look up over here at the camera, sweet Stevie. Can you look into the camera?
Like that.
What, honey?
I can't look at it.
You see yourself?
Yeah.
She's looking at herself on the computer screen. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. Oh, I'm doing it wrong way. That I got to I'm turning the computer instead. That's it. Can you wave goodbye to the camera? Up there, wave goodbye.
Goodbye.
Say goodbye.
Goodbye.
See you tomorrow, maybe.
Dear Mama.
Okay, bye-bye.